This is a great question to get across a point that I feel like I make all the time and maybe don't make as convincingly as I should. People are always asking, I struggle with the reading section. I can't understand the passages. What am I going to do? And I say, use the no reading strategy. Don't focus on the lines because the lines are not that important. What's important is the questions and the choices. You have to shift your focus to the questions and the choices. Perfect example of how that's going to work right here. Because if I worry about the lines, I'm going to be confused by all the science. If I focus on the question, this is so easy. It's unbelievable. So let's make sure we do it, but let's narrow our focus to the right stuff, okay? So what does the question say in 47? Based on passage 2, Meltzer and his team relied on what evidence to challenge the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis? So that's a very specific question. We are being asked to challenge the hypothesis and to find the evidence of that. Okay, now we go to the line references in 48, and we're looking for evidence that challenges this hypothesis. So let's go to 35 to 41. That is up here, 35 to 41, choice A. Proponents of the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis have claimed various kinds of evidence for the hypothesis, including deposits of the element iridium, rare on Earth but abundant in meteorites, microscopic diamonds called nanodiamonds, and magnetic particles and deposits at sites supposedly dated to about 12,800 years ago. Well, that's not challenging the hypothesis. That's just restating what the impact hypothesis is. So, did not accomplish the goal of the question, right? It's not challenging the hypothesis. It's restating that hypothesis. Did I understand all the science that they talked about? Absolutely not. I don't even care. All I care about is the fact that the hypothesis was not challenged in those lines. Let's keep moving. 41 to 45, choice B, right here. These claims were sharply contested. Okay, contested means challenged. Good. By some specialists in the relevant fields, however, who either did not detect such evidence or argued that the deposits had other causes than a cosmic impact. Well, it's challenging the hypothesis, but with what evidence? Right? It's saying that they didn't detect any evidence, so there's no evidence, or that they have other arguments, other hypotheses about what happened. Well, a hypothesis isn't evidence, right? A hypothesis is a guess, but that guess needs to be supported with evidence, and that's what the question is asking us for, right? What is the evidence that they used? There's no evidence in line reference B. They're just stating that they don't agree with the hypothesis, and they're giving some like vague reasons for that, but they're not listing any evidence. This is wrong. Choice C, 45 to 48. For example, okay, some say that nanodiamonds are common in ordinary geological formations and that magnetic particles could come from ordinary fires. It's certainly specific, but it's not evidence, right? Some say it could come from ordinary fires. Again, that's not evidence. That is just someone just saying anything. I could say whatever I want. I could say that, the sky is a beautiful color purple today. Well, sky is not purple, the sky is blue, but I'm just saying it. It doesn't mean I have any evidence of it. If I showed you a picture or if I showed, turned my camera to the sky, then yeah, that's evidence. But me just saying something is true does not make it true. I have to support it with evidence. So obviously D must be right, but let's actually see why. 62 to 69, that is here to here. The team argues that when the quality and accuracy of the dating, which was based on radiocarbon and other techniques, is examined closely, only 3 of the 29 sites actually fall within the time frame of the Younger Dryas onset about 12,800 years ago. The rest were probably either earlier or later by hundreds, and in one case, thousands of years. This is evidence. This is data. They're saying that they literally looked at the radiocarbon stuff and were able to separate out what was what. I don't understand it, but I understand that it's evidence. And so this is so important to the no reading strategy and to just whatever reading strategy you choose. I'm not trying to understand how the evidence makes sense. I'm just understanding what constitutes evidence. What is it? What looks like data? And they are asking for it, and I'm specifically looking for that to give it to them. I don't care to understand it. That's not my point. Now, I do need to understand it a little bit now that I get to the answer choices. But again, this is not really about what the lines are saying. This is really just kind of the dumb version of what's going on. So is it a reevaluation of the dates assigned to sites thought to display signs of the proposed impact? Well, yeah, they're talking about the dates being within a time frame, they're earlier or later. So that sounds a lot like a reevaluation of the dates, saying that they're earlier or later than we previously thought. Let's keep going. B, the discovery of additional Clovis artifacts in a host of sites besides the 29 initially identified. Well, they didn't say anything about any artifacts in that line, so that's got to be wrong. C, analyses showing that nanodiamonds can occur in geologic formations lacking indications of extraterrestrial impacts. I remember reading about nanodiamonds before, and I could see why we might pair this choice up with one of the other line references. But again, if we knew from the start what we were looking for, because we paid attention to the question, then these bizarre words in the answer choices are not going to faze us at all. We're not going to get intimidated into picking something like this. They don't talk about nanodiamonds here. That's it. Done. Gone. Get rid of that choice. D, high concentrations of iridium, again, don't really care, that have been found in sedimentary layers beneath the proposed impact layer. Nothing here about iridium. All it's saying is the dates are different. Again, I don't understand the science. I don't know what iridium looks like. I don't know what nanodiamonds look like. But I do know what it means for a date to be wrong. And that's what choice A says. That's what line reference D says. That's what the question was asking for. This is so, I'd be so confident in this question because I narrowed my focus to the question and turned off the part of my brain that cares what this passage is actually saying. I don't need to learn about impacts or nanodiamonds or anything to get a good score on the SAT. I need to pay attention to what they're asking and give them exactly what they're looking for. That's all it is.